Hey, what's up? This is the Excelsior Health Podcast, and guys, we have a special one today. We did a workshop at our dojo, at Training for Warriors, and what I do is I go into the details of exactly what shred season is. This is our program for our clients that are busy professionals that help them refocus and get back on track and see some amazing results while doing it in a small group. So if this is something that interests you, you're gonna get a lot of information on it, but you're also gonna get the tips on how you could be successful in your fitness journey. Check it out. All right, team, so guys, 10 years ago, January 2016, I opened this dojo with the help of obviously my lovely wife, Susie. And how we started this whole program, we did this orientation. All right, it was an orientation, it was a workshop. What I basically did, it wasn't now like it was so easy to just contact people. I went through all my contacts as like a freelance personal trainer. I emailed every single person I knew, I texted, I just reached out to everybody in my network, moms, friends, my friends' moms, whoever I can get a hold of. And basically I invited them to come to the opening of our gym. So the plan was to open January 17th, I believe. That was like our first day. And me not knowing anything and just being a coach, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this workshop the day before. So I have no clients. I opened this place January 16th on a Sunday. We do this workshop, kind of similar to how you guys are right now. And I have 3 times. I have early in the morning, 9 o'clock. I have noon, and I have 4. And basically, what I was doing this workshop, I was trying to spread the message of what Training for Warriors is. I was trying to reintroduce myself as a coach and as a leader and someone who could really help busy professionals. But I was also trying to sell this introduction to the program. And basically at the time, what we called it is our 8-week warrior challenge. This was the way that we took someone who was interested in our program and we integrated them into the way we do things at TFW. So I did a whole spiel, I did some education, I tried to inspire, told some stories. And then again, not knowing what the heck I was doing, I was just like, all right, if you guys want to buy, there's an office back there. Rena was there and it was like, just drop off your cash and like, let's go. And then basically I was lucky enough that 20 people were like, yeah, let's do this. And we started. The next day I woke up and we started training people. And that 8-week experiment, I had maybe like 3 classes. It's not like the 9 slots that you guys see today. And the concept of it was basically taking someone who's a little bit intimidated with fitness, they're not comfortable in the big gym, they're looking to lose some body fat, they want to do strength training, they want to coach, but they also want to be a part of a team, right? They want some community. And so basically people would come and it was like each week we were building towards this short-term goal. It wasn't like this far away crazy thing that you couldn't see, but it was like, okay, I know where I want to go, but let me condense this down to this small goal and let me do this in a fun, exciting way. So each week I was teaching people valuable lessons. I was getting the people to think about the big picture, their goals, what habits that they should be focusing on. And then as each week went, people started to get closer. People started to be more connected. There would be more smiles. The high fives went from this to like, boom. And then by the end of the 8 weeks, there was lots of results. I think you lost like 20 pounds in that one, right? Like people lost 20 pounds, 15 pounds, 6 pounds. But more importantly, people were learning the lifestyle that they needed to actually see results. They were coming 3 to 4 days a week consistently, right? They were looking at their protein. They were looking at their nutrition. But I think the most important thing is they were building relationships. They were like connecting. And like I said, those little measly high fives went from this to boom. And then it went from like big hugs where everybody was so proud and they were so connected with the people that they were around. So I remember doing the 8-week challenge. And at the end of the 8 weeks, like some of you guys experience, we like to party. I like to have a good time. And we went to a local restaurant, which is now so funny. The first party that we did there, whatever it is, 8 years later, the people that bought it, they were the clients here too. So they became the owners there and now we do parties there as well. But we had an amazing party, amazing celebration, gave out awards. And I remember coming back with Susie and I think we slept here in the gym that night because I used to sleep here all the time. And we were just like, man, that was amazing. Like it felt right.
Just drunk.
Yeah, maybe that too. But it felt right. It felt good that people's lives were changed and people were excited about fitness. And then that was our recipe. Is anybody, that got results, they kept showing up and they say, hey man, I heard about this 8-week challenge thing that you guys do. And then so we started doing it, 3 times a year. And then our program just grew, exploded. We went from that 20 people, and then sure enough, by 2018, we were probably around 150 members packed. And it was just off of helping people and getting people together and people falling in love with fitness. And then so I got into a good problem is I couldn't really run the program because the whole point of the program was to have a small team, maybe 10 to 15 people. They train together in the same session and they develop week to week. So if I did that, I would have to take away a spot from my students that are like building their routines. So I was like, man, what am I gonna be able to do to create that same type of experience? And then again, as I was brainstorming the idea of like, man, this thing called Shred Season. And I didn't call it Shred Season at the time. I called it like an internal 8-week challenge, but then we developed the name Shred Season. I'm really big on like language and words that they have meaning. So Shred Season became the program that we do for our members to refocus, recalibrate. And we did that from like 2018, and it just became this consistent thing that 2 to 3 times a year, we get our familia together and then we have these amazing experiences. So the main thing I want you guys to take away from that 8-week challenge, the Shred Season, these are the factors. Number 1 is people get amazing results. What I would say is amazing results in a 7 to 8 week span is anything from 4+ pounds of fat. It's fantastic. That's the outcome. But more importantly, the habits of showing up 4 days a week. Very few people actually can commit to working out consistently. It's always my kids, it's my work, I'm tired, and my emotions, blah, blah, blah. 4 days a week, no excuses. That was another thing that we built in there. It was teaching people the mindset and the strategy of training for warriors, which a lot of it is not things that I created, it's things that I learned from different mentors, and now I'm able to communicate it in my own message, and Coach Jabbar is, and Coach Carmela, and Coach Susie. But the special thing about it and why I'm I always make sure it's such a big part of our program is the experiences I saw that our students had. Whether they had to do some performance challenge and they were shitting their pants, scared because they haven't done anything like this since middle school, seeing people overcome those things and get out of their comfort zone, it was emotional, it was great. And then as I already mentioned, it was the positive relationships that are built. Every single Shred Season, I see friendships, just get connected and people start to know each other a little bit better. And then when they come back to train, it's not this little high five, it's fun. You're with your people, you're training hard, you're pushing each other. So overall, guys, that is the essence of what Shred Season is. A lot of you guys have been a part of it. Some of you guys are like, what the hell did I sign up to? But trust me, it's a really good thing. Why should you be a part of it? Because I look around in the group and there's OGs that have maybe done 12 of these things. There's people that have done 3 of them, 20. And again, there's people that are thinking about it. I would say if you're an OG who's been a part of it, this is why you guys are at the program. This is why you've been here for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. You love this. You love competing with yourself. You love collaborating with other people. You love getting results, right? You love being consistent. That's a good feeling to do that. So that's that reminder there. If you're a new person, that's also why you joined the program. You came here not to be on your own island by yourself, scared in the corner. It's to put yourself out there. It's to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And this is the best way. This is when we produce the best results and we make people fall in love with fitness, right? Another thing is, whether you're new or you've been here for a long time, maybe you're going through a hardship in your life that nobody knows about right now. Maybe you got stress, relationship challenges, kids, work, whatever it is. A lot of the time the conversation is, I don't know if I should do this right now. I got a lot of things going on. That's the perfect reason why you should be doing it. Is when things are tough and things are difficult in your life, it's when you need the most accountability, you need the most enthusiasm, you need the most support, you need competition, right? When you compete, it distracts you from some of the crap that's going on in your life because you have something that fires you up. So if you're that person and that's something that resonates with you, you should do it. Because if I look back at my own journey, anytime I've been going through difficulty in my life, when I was starting this thing up, or even before I was completely lost with what I was doing with my life, fitness saved me. It kept me going. It kept me finding the next thing, right? If you're, again, struggling with work stuff and commitments, it's like fitness is gonna be the thing that gives you energy. So the point I want you guys to understand is there's very few situations, if you're on an extended vacation and stuff like that, maybe I understand. Maybe it's not the right time. But I would say probably for 95% of the people in the dojo, this is a really good opportunity. Now, what I will say, if you are here today and you decide not to be a part of it, I'm not gonna look at you and frown on you and shake my head at you. That's not what I'm gonna do. I just wanna encourage you guys because I think it's what's best for you. But at the end of the day, whenever you guys come in, whether it's 2 days, 3 days, we're still gonna love you. We're still gonna get the most out of you guys when you guys are here at the dojo, all right? So overall, today is not about like explaining the rules of shred season. It's more just like I wanted to like talk to my people. I wanted to coach. I wanted to provide some value. But those people that are a little bit curious, is there any questions in terms of expectations of shred season or what is shred season? Let me know right now. Go for it, Michelle.
How do you manage it if you're on vacation?
Great, no, that's a great point. And I was just talking to Doug and Shirley about this. This is another reason why I think it's great. Part of what you are trying to build is you're not trying to do a sweaty workout of the day and just like, "Ugh," and then that's not how you get transformation. Transformation comes from building a lifestyle. So going on vacation is the best time to work out because you're not on some crazy schedule where it's like work and this and da-da-da. Usually you're taking it a little bit slower. You get to relax, you get to have some fun. That's when working out is nice. You're not on this, oh my God, I gotta get the hell out of here. It's like, take as long as you want, take as short as you want, but working out makes vacation better. It's just most people don't have the systems to do it. They don't have the accountability. They don't have the confidence to walk in a gym where they know what to do. These are the things that we teach you guys in the program. Mary, I'm thinking about you, right? Mary, how old are we? 64, so maybe 2 years ago, I think you were in Jamaica, right? Walking into the gym, putting her camera down, working out, being confident, posting it in the group. So the expectation is if you're on vacation, it's like work out while you're on vacation. It doesn't mean you need to do a 75-minute, 65-minute session like we do here in the dojo, but could you bang out 40 minutes of a solid workout? If we help condense that for you, I guarantee you could. Especially when you have a coach and you have a team of 10 and 12 other people say, yo, Michelle, you got this, girl. Let's go, you got this. That's the point. So I personally believe if you're going on vacation, especially if it's a week long, you should do it. You're gonna feel that much more better. It's gonna be a notch in your belt that I worked out on vacation. I did 4 days a week. If you're gone for 2-3 weeks, I could understand that's tough in certain situations, so that might not be ideal for you, and that's okay, right? But that would be my recommendation on that, right? So the way that gets done too, it's just basically you film the last set of each section of the workout, and we can modify it for you as well, and then you just post it in your group chat. And that coach basically says, yeah, Michelle did her workout. And it's a legit workout that you did, not some crappy thing that you just put together and for the points. It's not about the points, it's about the habits. Yep.
I just want to add to that. So what I do is I look at all the workouts and I ask the coach ahead of time, if they don't have this type of equipment, what can I do? Because a lot of times I don't know what to do. So I do that to prepare. Because I'm often away. I'm going to be away in for this one too. So just a tip.
Yeah, and it's just a good experience. Like walking, like when I'm on vacation, I'm always observant and I see, the people that come in and they're like, oh, fuck, what am I doing here? And they're looking around and like, I want to help sometimes, but like, I don't want to bother them either, but I see it. And it's a good feeling when you could walk in the gym. Like so many times people will come up to me and Susie because we're just doing our thing. And we're training as a family and people notice. And it's the same thing I would love for you guys is wherever you are, if it's on the beach and you and your significant other, you want to do a workout, you and your kids, you feel confident enough to do a good workout that makes you feel good.
Bring a band.
Bring a band, bring your body weight, whatever it is, we can figure it out, right? Yeah. Any other questions? Because we do have a lot of you guys. Yeah, Michelle?
The group classes fall into work.
100%, yeah. So it just depends on your membership, right? Like for yourself right now, you have the essential membership, the 2 strength, the 2 cardios. So you got to use those cardio sessions to come in there. It's a little bit more of a limited schedule, but you can make it work, right? Doug and Shirley, that's an option that you guys have as well. I think probably you guys doing 4 strength days will probably be better for you. But if you can make it work where you want to come in a Saturday morning and do some cardio, your membership is fine. You guys could keep it the way it is. right? So if you have those type of questions of like, should I do this membership? Can I make it work with my schedule? Ask Jabbar, ask myself. We'll give you the honest feedback, what we think is best for you. Cool? No other questions, shred season? Everybody's good? Marsha? Okay, cool.
They don't know what to ask, but they don't know, right?
Yeah, and to give everybody like just, I know a lot of you guys have been a part of it. Like the first step was just giving the overview of like, hey, this is what's to expect. Do you want to be a part of this? Sign up on this contract, which to be honest, that's one of the biggest things is the contract is I hate when people sign up and then they quit afterwards. Like commit to yourself. We're not saying, hey, for the next 12 months, like this is going to be forever. You're the biggest thing in your life. We're saying, hey, for 7 weeks, like lock in, focus, like get out of your comfort zone. Every single person can do that. If you actually want a chance at changing your lifestyle, you have to be able to commit for 7 weeks, right? That's the reality of life. So everybody could do it. That's why we kind of do it, because over years of doing it, everybody's excited in the beginning. Oh man, this sounds cool. Let's do this. And in week 4, when it's normal life and you got stuff going on, it's harder to say, oh yeah, I'm gonna be here 4 days a week. Oh yeah, I'm gonna step up and focus on my food. So that's the reason why we do that. So make sure you guys fill that out. And then next Friday, we will be doing, that's the fun part of it too, actually. The coaches pick our clients, so our students, because we want you guys, when you're on that team, to be like, oh, my coach picked me, man. Like they saw something in me. They wanted to work with me closely. And so you guys know behind the scenes, it's always fun for us because we're always like, if Susie picks on, I'm like, no, I wanted that person. It's always like a fight. So it's fun. And that's the point. It's healthy competition that us as coaches, we want to save and impact the most people. Who loses the most body fat? Who has perfect attendance? Who like transforms? And typically that's the one thing I forgot that when I lost my train of thought is the best part about shred season is it builds amazing students. That's what it is for me, is all of a sudden someone's a part of it and then it just kind of clicks to them like, oh, this is my place. This is how I could be consistent in training. And then they go on, when shred season is done, they go on a path and they continue to get results and they continue to make breakthroughs. All right? Vero.
How do you win?
That's a great point. That was like actually what I'm going into.
Was it? Oh, Ray, that was you. That was you. You were my coach, right?
So basically for the next, the next 25 minutes, 30 minutes, that's kind of like what I'm talking about. Is like, hey, how do we win in shred season? But then how do we win like in our own transformation journey? So most of that I'm going to cover. And I want this to be freestyle. I have some stuff that I want to hit, but anything that pops in your head, just put your hand up and ask the question, because that's the main reason. I just wanted to talk to my people and make sure everybody's excited about shred season. Shirley, we're going to ask something?
Do you have to work out together as a team, or you just continue to working out?
No, great question. So your normal schedule is your normal schedule. You just come and show up and you make sure you get your 4 days in. That's it. So you don't have to work out with your team, none of that. You're gonna see other teams and other people, but then that's the cool thing is you're gonna start to meet more people. And so you might have some teammates in your 9:50 or 9:30 session, and it's that much more of a bond. So your normal schedule is your normal schedule. You don't have to change anything. You're gonna be in a group chat where there's gonna be accountability, there's gonna be messages. You don't have to be glued to your phone. That's the one thing that I don't want you guys to do. We have lives where we gotta be productive, but all I would say is, hey, in the morning, by lunchtime, put one message in there. Let the group know you're good, right? In the evening, when you're checking out, disconnecting from your phone, another message, that's it. Usually what I tell most of my teams is after Saturday, after the challenge, disconnect for the rest of the weekend and we're back on it on Monday. Simple. Right? It's just a great way to connect with everybody. So Saturdays is something that was built in over time because, and this is what I'm going to start off talking about, shred season is not just about fat loss. Fat loss is important. As a coach, I want people to lose body fat because I know that's one of the biggest things people want, but it's just one thing. And I think in the fitness industry, we've done a poor job of educating people and teaching people why strength training is so important. It's not just about fat loss. So one of the things that we did to make shred season that much more captivating is we put these performance challenges in. Because sometimes, you're basically in week 1 this week, but there's people that have been here for 4 years, 3 years, 7 years. I want you guys to have opportunities to show off your training. What have you been working 4 days a week for? Show it off. So we do these performance challenges where the coach picks 2, sometimes 3 people to represent the team to do the challenge. And it's a little healthy competition. And most of the time, if you're new to the program, you're not doing it because you're not in that position to do it. You don't know how to do those moves. You haven't earned the right to do those moves. But that's the point, is as people do shred seasons and they do different ones in the beginning, it's like, man, I got to show up 4 days a week. The next one, it might be like, oh man, I'm going to get some real results. And then each time it's different. Some people step up as leaders and they're like showing other people how to do things. And then there's some of our students where it's like, man, it's time to perform. Go show that you could run that 2.5 kilometer. Go show that you could sprint after months of consistent training. That's the point. So we come in, it's called Shred Season Saturdays, and the normal flow is kind of like today. People bring a coffee, they come support their teammates, and us as a coaching staff, we try to make it fun. We try to make it a little bit of a show, and we have some healthy competition, and it brings people together. So it's not something that you're forced to come to. It's just something that, hey, if your Saturday morning is available and you want to have a good time and you want to come support some people, it's going to be a good opportunity. And even this year, for those of you guys that have been a part of it, the challenge, I think, for us as coaches and even you guys, every Saturday, it's tiring, right? It's a lot. So we set it up this year, out of the 7 Saturdays, we're going to be here for 4. So it's going to be a little bit more spaced out. We're not every single Saturday we're going to be here. So I think it'll be that much more fun and exciting too. Cool? All good questions. Any other ones? Nicole? No, you're good? Okay. All right. So my man Viral asked, how do we win at Shred Season? So basically what I love to talk about and what a big part of the Training for Warriors program that has inspired me is, oh, it's not here, is this. And it's probably going to go away because I don't know how to take this off my setting, but 5 pillars of Excelsior Health. So this is probably be on there for 10 seconds, but take a picture.
Support.
Yeah, that's you. All right, so 5 pillars of Excelsior Health. This is a framework that I created as I was just like really trying to discover myself. I was trying to mature as a leader. A lot of this happened in COVID. You know, I was doing a lot of learning about how can you be more resilient, right? How can I spend more time in nature, social interaction, like more than just the sweaty workout. And then this was kind of created, and I was like, you know what? This is gonna help me coach our students better. Because we do a fantastic job, at least I think anyways, of coaching in the dojo. The hardest part about being a personal trainer or a fitness coach is the workout is only 1 hour out of 24 hours. It's how can you influence people in their personal life to do the things that they need to. So when I made this, it was more like a compass to guide you on your journey and the things that you got to focus on. So at the top, you see the yellow, those are the 5 pillars that I personally believe as a coach, and I've been inspired by a lot of mentors, that if I focus on these 5 areas, and sometimes it's not all at once, I'm gonna improve my health. And in the name Excelsior, it's also what we do the podcast on, is Excelsior is a word that I just love. I love certain words, they give power. Excelsior means striving for excellence. So to me, the concept is, these are the essential standards. How can I raise my standards and chase excellence in these areas so I can be my most healthiest, strongest version? All right. So where I want to start in terms of Viral's question is like, how do we win during shred season? And I'm going to start with resilient mindset, because I think mindset precedes skill set, right? If you're not in the right frame of mind, it doesn't matter how good the workout is. It doesn't matter if you have the perfect nutrition tips and all that other stuff. So I was listening to a podcast recently. It was actually one of my mentors. He is 70 something years old, 76. He is always on the tour or on the road doing presentations. He's like the OG of mentoring personal trainers and gym owners. And I remember one time, I think it was 2 years ago, I went to a workshop. It was called Speaking School. And he like roasted me up. Like he was just all over me, like just ripping into me. And I was pretty upset and frustrated, but in hindsight, it was good. I knew he was doing it to make me better. So anytime he does a presentation or he talks, I listen a little bit closer because I know he knows what he's talking about. He's been doing it since, 1970s, and he's really experienced. But he was on a podcast and he said, the reason why most of these personal trainers and these gym owners, they're all broke and unhappy and they can't have a good business and they can't be successful, it's this question. They don't know what the hell they want. Like they've never sat down and asked the question, what do I want? So I was listening to that and it kind of hit me in my heart and I was thinking, you know what? Any time in my life where I've had success, it's because I knew what I wanted. I knew what the goal was. When I was a kid, it was like, hey, I want to be a professional athlete. When it was high school, it's like, hey, I want to be an MVP. I want to win a championship. Then it was university. I want to be a football player. I want to go be an all-star on this team. Then it was, hey, I'm going to play in the CFL. And then when those things passed and when some of those goals didn't happen, that's when I was my lowest. When I didn't know what I wanted and I was sitting there and I was like, I don't know what I want. I was when I was most depressed. I was most not myself. And then what happened, I found TFW, right? I found this system. And then this system reminded me about what I want. Oh, okay, you know what? I want to save lives. I want to impact people. I want to teach them about training for warriors. I want to be the #1 affiliate in this company. And then it led me on a path. So a big part of what I see now as what Shred Season is, it's helping people remind themselves, what the hell do I want? Like, what am I working out for? What's the goal that I want to accomplish? So that's the first thing is how you win in Shred Season is every week we have these questions. Some people will look at the questions and they'll just be like, ah, yeah, brr, and they'll just throw it in there. Other people will actually sit down and reflect and then answer the questions and then they'll share it and you get more out of it. But if you want to see some significant change during Shred Season, but more importantly, if you want to have a great year of transformation, you have to sit down and you have to ask yourself, what do you want, right? What do you want to accomplish? So step one, I don't know if anybody wants to share, does anybody like right now have a goal that they're working towards in their fitness journey? Whether it's an aesthetic goal, whether it's some sort of a physical accomplishment, let me know.
There's not big body fat. That's, I think, for my age, I need to get to a much healthier body fat. The goal is to get at least to 29, but many goals get to 34, 32, 30, and past.
So say the goal with like clarity and confidence. What's the goal that you want to accomplish?
I want to be at 29% by December 31st.
There you go. Awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. And that's the difference. So next point I'll say is when you ask people, what do you want? Most people don't know how to say it. Hey, what's the goal you're working for? I'm going to lose some weight and I think I'm doing this in my job. But if you ask people, hey, what do you not like? Man, I hate that I have this here and I hate that this. I don't like this about myself. I don't like that about myself. So another good little quick story that always hits home with me is there is this kayak instructor, and basically it was like an event where parents would bring their kids. And all the parents, they bring their kids and they're about to go kayaking and it's just crazy rapids, it's very dangerous, and everybody's worried that it's not gonna go down. And then all of a sudden this instructor comes out and says, hey guys, are we ready to rock and roll? Today is gonna be amazing. And then like one of the dads is like, man, like this looks dangerous. Like we're scared that we're gonna like crash in one of the rocks. And he said, listen, most of the people that crash, the problem is they focus on not going where I'm telling them to go. What you guys need to focus on is this positive point. When I point, hey, go right, go right. When I focus on, hey, go left, go left. Where other instructors, what they do is, watch out for that rock, don't do that. And sure enough, people do that. So the message of that story is, again, like stop focusing so much on what you don't want and put your focus to, I want this. Man, I want to lose 20 pounds of body fat. Man, I want to be someone who works out 3 days a week on average for the entire year. Man, I want to be able to do my first chin-up by the age of 50. Man, I want to be able to do 30 push-ups, right? Man, I want to build my relationship to be more intimate and be more healthy. Man, I want to get a promotion in my career. So what do you want? So that's the point is, Shred Season is not just about fat loss. Step one is figuring out what you want, but that's not up there. So next thing. So when you figure out what you want, what do you think is the first thing that you guys got to do? Like the first step of like actually seeing progress. Plan, which is the what I want, right? So maybe figuring out the habits, right? Creating a plan. Out of those habits, what's the first thing that like you have to do? It's not complicated. This is an easy one. Show up. You got to show up. So when you show up, the motto that we have in the program is 4 days for life. In the beginning, if you would have, when I was a younger coach, when I opened the dojo and I was like 27 years old, I would have said, yo, you got to work out 5 days a week, Danielle. Like, come on, let's go. Like, what do you mean you can't work out 5 days a week? You're a busy mom, you can't work out 5 days a week? She does that now. But that was my mindset. But as I've matured, I got smarter, I learned not everybody needs to work out 5 days a week. Could you be active every day? Yeah. But strength training, like an actual training session, there's so much evidence that even just 2 days a week of that has crazy impacts on certain areas of your life, right? But for us in the program and my compass as a coach, I think 4 days a week is the perfect recipe. I think 3 is great. I think 2 is like, man, that's your minimum. You better get your butt in the dojo working out 2 days a week at least. But to see impactful change, I think 4 days a week is the best. And I think it's better than 5. I think 5 is more mental. It's more routine. You just feel better about yourself. That's all it is when you show up to the dojo. You're not actually physically probably getting better. It's just more about routine. All right, so that's step 1 is the 4 days a week of training. So hands up if you've done 4 days a week of training for an entire year. Right? Okay, so this is the point, guys. It is hard. It's hard for people to do. Most people don't do that. So that's why it's a great challenge for you to focus on that in shred season is without excuses, whatever wedding's coming up, whatever event, is show up 4 days a week. It builds character, but to me, what 4 days a week is, it's like the entry habit to all the other ones. If you don't work out, I'll say 3 to 4. If you don't work out 3 to 4 days a week, the likelihood that you're gonna go home and say, man, I really gotta get 7 hours of sleep, I doubt you're gonna do that. Most people. The likelihood that you're gonna say, okay, let me track my protein, let me get some sunlight, let me get some steps, most likely those things don't happen. So that's why that's the first step. But the point that I wanna make when it comes to the 4 days of training, don't think of your 4 days a week of training as, man, if I train 4 days instead of 3, I'm gonna lose body fat. I'm gonna be shredded. That's not what it is. So what I wrote down is I wrote down a couple examples that I just wanted to hit home that make sure everybody understands. So fat loss is a side effect, right? Like it's something that we want in this program. I think it's important that most people do, but strength, longevity, I think those are the more important ones that most people are starting to understand how important it is. So a couple points that I'm gonna kind of spit out here for you guys. So number 1, protects your muscle as you age. So this is a stat that I didn't even know, but basically every decade we lose about 3 to 8%.
I think that's one of the key issues why we ended up coming here. Because we'd sit there and kids, you guys getting older, you need muscle mass. You can't keep losing muscle mass.
Yeah.
So that's how we end up coming here. And that was our key focus. Sure, it's great to lose a little bit of weight, but the increase your muscle mass, you don't get the increase when you get older. You fall, you see people seniors get ready to go to the hospital. And they go to rehab.
Yep.
So we don't want to be in that position, we want to be stronger.
There you go. And that's what I was just about to say is like, basically you think of your strength training, it's like, it's autonomy, it's capacity. It's like, I can do stuff versus I'm limited. And I just think about like, I've been blessed to travel some amazing places in the last couple of years. We went to Iceland recently on all these hikes and all these things. And I just think about like, man, there's so many people that they missed out on this view that I'm looking at right now. They've missed out on this experience of doing that with their partner because they're not fit enough to do it. They can't do it. So that's part of what it is when you train is you're preserving muscle, you're protecting your body to be able to do all the things that you want, right? So that's one example right there. Another one, it's a big one that I never thought about before as a coach, improves your mental health, right? Like we live in a area, GTA, like Toronto, people are always wound up. You go on vacation, soon as you enter Pearson Airport, you're like, oh, stress, anxiety, pressure. It's like all over the place. But that's the point, is like training and strength training is something that helps. There's so much research that shows you start to lower your symptoms of depression and things like that, anxiety, right? By training, moving, breathing, lifting up some heavy weights. So I'm not saying like everybody in here is struggling with depression, like that's a different conversation, but I'm pretty sure everybody here deals with stress. Everybody's a little bit wound up sometimes and feels the pressure of life. For myself as a coach, I'm not the same person. I'm not the same father. I'm not the same partner if I don't work out and take care of myself. I'm snappy. I'm ugly at times. I'm not myself. But when I train and I recalibrate myself, now I'm a better version. Now I'm the dad who could communicate better. I could control my anger a little bit. I'm just a better human being. So mental health is another reason why, man, you should be training 4 days a week. That's another reason why you take a part of shred season. Another one kind of goes back to what you were saying, Doug, a similar vibe of preserving your muscle, but increasing your bone density, right? And this especially, which we have a lot of women in this program, most of our avatar is 40s and 50s. That's the start, where we just get weaker. We get more frail, we get more fragile. When you could lift up some weight, when you could do some push-ups, you're protecting yourself. And this is also all other stuff, but like, hey, God forbid you get in a car accident. Like, sometimes that's not enough, but those are the chances. Is sometimes you've gone through something, and your strength and your ability to build muscle and protect your bones, it might save your life, right? And I think of you, Marsha, just seeing you when you came in, fragile, scared, and you're just kicking ass, man. 4 days a week, just lifting some weights. So I'm so proud of you for that. Next one. Improves metabolic health. So, I'm sure you guys have heard these buzzwords, right? Improve your blood glucose levels. So a lot of people pre-diabetic, right? So hormone dysregulation, like all these things, chronic disease. This is what strength training helps fight against, all right? So my big point that I was trying to make here is don't walk into shred season just being like, how do I lose 4 pounds or 20 pounds of fat? I think you should focus on fat loss. I think it's very important, but just realize, man, like there's so much other reasons why you should be doing strength training and being consistent at it. And hopefully that hit home for a couple of people, all right? Now, other things to kind of go over as we have last kind of 15 minutes here. The big part that I would say, guys, during shred season, we have this thing called high 5 factors of fat loss, right? Again, I like these little catchy phrases that you could remember stuff. If you focus on these 5 things, you will see results. The problem is sometimes people are like, yeah, I did it. No, you didn't. Like you have to actually do the thing. So high 5 factors, number 1 is, hey, train 4 days a week. Number 2 is basically a second wind workout every day. So what that is a 30 to 45 minute walk. It's not really walking the dog and kind of just being casual. It's a pace where you're a little bit out of breath. If me and Nav are walking, it's a little like she can hear that I'm a little bit out of breath, but I'm moving. I'm not sprinting. I'm not running, doing a jog. I'm getting my steps in. So some of you guys have been fantastic at walking through the winter. I'll be honest, I have been pretty crappy at walking through the winter. Me and Susie, we hate the cold and we haven't been doing it. I'm looking at this as an opportunity to get myself back on track with my steps, right? So for you guys, if you want to lose some more body fat, but also mental health, if you want to get into routine, if we want to build some resilience, you know what? It sucks right now, but starting shred season, every single day for shred season, can you carve out 30 minutes of your life to do some steps? And there's just so many things why it's so good. When we're wound up at work, we just need to change our energy and get up, right? Sometimes it's family time. That's been a thing for me, is like I'm getting my steps, but I force my kids to go ride their bike. Sometimes it's me and Susie, we get to talk, we get to get things out of our head. It's just quality time. But these are all opportunities where you could stack habits, do multiple things at once. So that's the second thing. Third thing, we'd start to go into a little bit more nutrition, protein. Most people in the dojo don't know how to count calories. Even though every time I sit down in the back, coach, I'm eating 1,500 calories, I promise you. I'm like, I don't know if you are. But step 1 is track your protein. It's not easy, but it's very doable for most of us. So how we track our protein, again, take your body weight right now, 0.8 times 1, right? Shirley, what's your body weight? Like how much you weigh right now? 132. So for you, basically, you want to consume 100 grams of protein per day, all right? Tracking wise, this palm, most of the time, I use this as like 25 grams. For most of my women, I'll say that. Guys, sometimes bigger hands, you can go up towards the 30 grams. But that's how you can simply track is I'm gonna have chicken breasts, I'm gonna have salmon, I'm gonna have whatever it is, pork, and I'm gonna say, you know what, this is my 25 grams. So for you, it's can I have 4 portions of protein per day? So I hit my 100. Everybody could track that if you actually care about it. And the point is you getting the 100 grams of protein isn't magically gonna make you lose a ton of weight, but it will make the ability to be in a calorie deficit that much easier. So if I'm eating 100 grams of protein, I'm going to be more full, right? That means I have to design these meals. And typically if I'm gonna have some sort of grilled chicken or fish, most of the time I'll probably have something decent around it, some good carbs or some good veggies with that. So that's step 1 is track your protein, right? And we can dive into a couple more questions with that. Water, right? Another simple one is for shred season this is a choice, right? But if you want to get the most out of it, it's liquid calories, 0, right? So I'm someone, when I go to a restaurant, I enjoy an old fashioned. I like to have a cocktail every now and then, but that's one of the easiest ways for you to not lose weight is the wine, it's the alcohol. That's the thing that's really tough because those calories can go down so easy, but they're really difficult to burn off. So whether it's that for you, some people, it might be where's Rav? Your latte? She's like, I'm not giving up my latte. I don't give a damn. Your latte, your juice, whatever it is, Diet Coke. But I will say this, Diet Coke is a liquid, 0 calories. So those are the things that you try to alternate and say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna drink water 90%, 80% of the time, but you know what? I will have a couple of these beverages, even though like Diet Coke is not healthy, but it's a good opportunity to stay in 0 calories, which will help you lose some weight if that's the main goal. All right, so water is gonna be a big one. I don't have to go into super detail, but how much water? Take your current weight right now, half of your body weight in ounces. That's what you wanna consume. Number 1 hack in terms of having good water, I guarantee someone today woke up, they grabbed their coffee and they came to the gym. I know a lot of you guys did that. What we need to do is we need to wake up this first, right? This like 20 ounces, this 24 ounces, we need to drink that first. Huh?
I said, there's my cup.
Oh yeah. We need to drink that first. And when you drink that first, man, you're giving your brain like a bath. You're getting you were sleeping for hopefully 6, 7, 8 hours. You're already probably dehydrated, but what we do is we go grab the coffee first, and because the coffee like satisfies us, we don't drink water. And then we wonder why we can't hit the total. So first thing in the morning, that's the opportunities. You wake up, you have the habit, you down the water. It could be 1 to 2 of these. If you suck at the water habit, just start with 1. If you're really good, have 2. You're gonna feel that much better. And then, sure enough, go enjoy your coffee afterwards if you're a coffee drinker. That's not a problem at all. All right? One thing that I will say is probably the hardest part for most people is like, okay, all these things make sense. If someone just does those things, most of you guys, you're gonna see results. Just those things. But there are now opportunities where, okay, how do I be a little bit more clear with my nutrition breakdown? So what I would say, Jabbar did a really good job talking about this on the last podcast about Ramadan nutrition, but it's creating structure and guidelines. Most of us do not need to count every single calorie, even though I think it's a good experience because you understand the worth of food. But more what you need to do is you need to create structure to your day. So I'll give you an example. Ed, on Mondays, we usually work out 6:30 a.m. So Ed should have a plan of, hey, Mondays I work out at 6:30. That's my jam. That's my normal. What should my meal timing look like? Where most of us, we don't know. We just kind of like, I do this, I do that. Have an idea of what it should look like, the game plan. So maybe for Ed, his mindset is, okay, I'm gonna train at 6 a.m. I'm just gonna have my water, maybe I'll have a coffee. Once that's done, maybe he's gonna break his fast around 9 a.m. That's gonna be his first meal, maybe. It might be different, obviously. But in that first meal, what are your 2 go-to options that you typically are gonna have, right? Then later on, he's been working, it's 1 o'clock, it's his lunch break. Now he's gonna have another meal. What are his 2 consistent options that he has? And then he's gonna have dinner with his wife, Paula, and enjoy some good food, and maybe he's gonna fit in a treat. What is the structure though? Like, what is that? And this is a thing that I think as a coach, we do a bad job of, because we always try to accommodate the clients and say, oh, like, well, you can have this meal instead of that. Guys, it's okay to have the same, when you're trying to really break through and get results, it's okay to have the same structure and be very consistent at that. A lot of people, when they get results, that's what it is they have consistency. They know that, you know what, in the morning, I typically have my 4 eggs. I make it with this amount of spinach. I put this amount of oil, boom, and they do it. Right? They know, hey, lunchtime, I typically have my salad, I have 2 palms of protein, or I have my rice. I get tired of chicken, I have my salmon, and I have potatoes with it. They just know their options and they stick to it consistently. If your meals are constantly different all the time, it's hard for you to know what the problem is. It's just hard to know, I don't know, I think I'm eating good. So that would be my biggest point of using Shred Season as well, is figure out your structures. What works? Most of us, what I would recommend is 3 meals for most people within a 10 to 12 hour eating window. So if I'm going back to Ed, let's just say Ed from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., that's his 12-hour eating window. He's gonna have 3 meals in there. And that's the plan. And within those 3 meals, Ed, how much you weigh right now?
190.
So Ed's 190. Let's say for him, 150, right? 150 is the protein intake. So for a guy like Ed, if I can get him to have 5 servings of protein, right? 5 palms, and I distribute that in between those 3 meals, he's killing it. So maybe for him, he doesn't want to have a big breakfast because he's on the go. Okay, he's got his 1 protein in the morning at 9 a.m. But now he knows lunchtime, I have to have 2 servings, dinner, I have to have 2 servings. And that's his structure. So that's what I want to challenge you guys, is you guys can't be upset at yourselves and your results if you don't take the time to truly create a structure and stick to it and like experiment. That's the hardest part about fitness, is you have to make multiple mistakes. You have to go test things, but every other area in our life, we're okay with that. We realize that. Oh man, at work, I did this wrong. I got to fix this. Like, that's part of it. It takes time figuring it out. But once you do and you get into momentum and you do it consistently, cool, you start to take off. So with these last kind of, 5 minutes here, I want to make sure I give opportunity for any good questions that I can answer. Rena?
So what if you're like, say I'm 250 pounds, like there's no way I can have 250 pounds of protein.
Yeah, really good.
230.
Right.
Is there like a normal, like a general rule if you're very overweight?
100%. So basically you want to go off of your desired body weight, right? So like Rena's saying, if I'm 250 pounds, I'm not going to eat that amount of protein. The amount of protein I'm going to be is what do I want to be? You know what I'm saying? I would say a rule of thumb, to be honest, most women, if I'm like under 150 pounds, I typically think like 4 servings of protein is really good. That's usually around 100 to 120 grams. If I'm a woman who's over 150 pounds, I would focus on having 5 servings of protein. Simple rule of thumb. Most guys, if I'm like under 180 pounds, I'm probably gonna have 6 servings of protein, unless I'm a little bit more smaller. But 6 is usually good for most guys. If I'm like over 200, like me and Jabbar, 7 to 8 is a good amount. Yeah. Yeah, but you're for the wrong reasons. But any other good nutrition questions?
It's a challenge though to try to keep up the protein. That's like
It's hard, but
That's a lot of you.
being fit, being happy, being successful, it's hard, right? Like you got to do the hard things because most people are not fit. Most people are not healthy. Most people are not happy. So we have to figure out what are those things that people are not willing to do, and I'm willing to do that. And that's how I'm gonna be more fit. Ways you could be more convenient, that's where protein powder helps. You don't have to do it, but that's what protein powder was made for, is like you take this scoop, that scoop is the equivalent of one of those pumps. So now there's lots of examples. If you're the person who likes like a chocolate kind of savory, no, not savory, a sweet type of sensation, that might be your jam, where you have a nice vanilla or protein, chocolate, cookies and cream, you might go that route. If you're someone who likes maybe like a juicy type of drink, now they have protein that has that. We have it at our house all the time. It's called Clear Weight, is like the type of protein. But you can have lemonade and you're getting 20 grams of protein. So that's another little hack right there, is you could be having a meal that's like a good meal that has 2 servings of protein, right? That might be 50 grams for you, close to Doug. But then also what you're drinking is another 20 grams of protein. So you just got 70 grams of protein in that one sitting. You're pretty much halfway done. So that's the point, is when we educate ourselves and then we create these systems and plans, now becomes possible. But when we don't have the knowledge and we don't put in the work, it's like all or nothing. That's the conversation. It's like, oh, I can't have any treats at all, never. Up. And then we like become restrictive. When you know how to track your food and you create these systems, you could actually, that's when you see, you know, fit people or whatever, they're eating their pizza and stuff like that. They don't show you the whole picture, but it's because they actually know how to track their food. So that's where the whole 80-20% of the time comes, is yes, 80-90% of the time, we have to eat a certain way. Like when I'm at my family function sometimes, my mom, some of you guys work with my mom, but even other family members sometimes will be, you're having some cake there, buddy. Hey, how you having some of this? It's like, yeah, but you didn't see me work out 5 days a week, and you didn't see me go to bed at this time and drink the water and do all the other things. So when you guys are building this lifestyle, you could still do those things. It's just, it has to be in your 10 to 20, not your 50 to 60, where most of us, that's what it is. 50% of the time, or let's just say 60% of the time, Monday to Thursday, you're killing it. You're doing fantastic. But then, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is a different vibe, right?
On your weekend,
Yeah.
WEAK. Can I just say something? With the nutrition, being on the shred, you're gonna get lots of newer ideas, because in the chat, people are sharing recipes, ideas on how to incorporate different things. You know, like I throw protein powder in my yogurt just to boost it up. It tastes good. So you're gonna get lots of wonderful ideas to help you be successful.
There you go. And so I'll end it off there. We're gonna do, you know, we have Emily in the house. She's doing her guest interview today, so she's gonna rock it in a second. But basically, the main thing I'll end off with, guys, is like, hopefully that give you a little bit of a light bulb moment on some things that you can work on. But the big part of shred season, but even if you're not part of shred season, the big part of being at Training for Warriors, it's the community, it's the collaboration with others. And like MK just said, when people share and when people work together and they challenge each other, that's how you grow. So 2 of my favorite lines that I'm gonna end off with is, you rise, no, what's the quote that I love is,
You do not rise, I love with your role.
no, not that one. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank here. Let me check my notes. There we go. Keep it. So this is one that I love, is you're the result of what your peer group expects of you. So if you chill and you hang around with people that expect you to be overweight, they expect you to be unhealthy, they expect you to be weak, they expect you to be broke, they expect you to be in a dysfunctional relationship, that becomes your standard of what you expect for yourself. But if you hang around with people that are like, what do you mean you're not gonna work out 4 days this week? Why? We could do it. I know you're busy. I know you're a busy mom, but we could do it. We could figure it out. Let's move around our schedule. What do you mean you can't do a push-up? It's hard right now, but you're gonna be able to do a push-up, I bet you, if you just keep training consistently. So my point is It's spending time around people that are not gonna tolerate you for who you are right now. They're gonna challenge you for who you could become. That's the key. And that's what I think we do in this program really well, is we push you out of your comfort zone to say, hey, yes, I see who you are right now, but you can become more. And I want you guys, as the people that are actually in the program on a day-to-day basis, you guys have that attitude. Make yourself better, and then go and help the people around them and be that good teammate that expects greatness from the people around you. Now you walk into a place, everybody has that mentality, you can't help but get better. That's the mentality there. Cool? Cool. I appreciate you guys coming out, and let's have some fun.